Hi, I'm Erik Paulson, and this is my basic arm lock attack tape. The first arm lock attacks we're going to do starts from the knees, because half the time you wrestle, you start on your knees to avoid injuries. So now I'll bring in Atticus Lish and demonstrate some of our attacks from the knees. Okay, what I'm going to do now, when he reaches up, I'm going to clinch underneath his elbow. That's so when he pulls his arm back, I got control. Number two is I'm going to put my head sideways like this. I'm going to pinch his arm so when he tries to pull it out, look it, it's mine. Now once I take this, I'm going to take my hand and put it on his neck. Okay, so I've got an elbow and necktie. So what I'm going to do now with my hand is I'm going to come up and I'm going to place it up towards the top of his head. As I do that, I'm going to place his head on his bicep like this. This is called Kazushi. To Kazushi him, I off balance. Now I keep my head down, therefore I can't be re-thrown. I step to block his knee so he can't, because what he wants to do is post his right knee out. Good, just like that. So what I'm going to do now from right here is I'm just going to post and I'm just going to step like that. As I do that, I'm going to step up and I'm going to squat and kneel on him just like this. I am going to hook his arm and look how I'm holding his head. Drop your legs once. Move your hand. Look how I'm holding his head. I was holding it just like this. That's going to allow me to set my perineum on the back of his tricep so he can't pull his arm out. Now when I take his hand, I'm going to go into what we call a Japanese style arm lock. That's with the knee pinch, just like this. And I'm going to make sure that his thumb is turned towards his feet, this way. Not all the way, just about maybe a quarter. Therefore, he can't do what we call the last resort escape, and that's when his thumb comes up. He turns his thumb up, his pinky high, and he'll roll to his knees. Okay, so what I'm going to do to avoid him from doing that is I'm going to hold this tight. I'm going to pinch my knees as hard as I can. He starts to roll, and I just hold it here, and I'm keeping his thumb this way, and I'm using my left hip as my fulcrum and locking his elbow. Okay. Again, he comes up, I hold him, I off balance him, I step over, and I take the lock. Now I don't have to end up that way. I can keep my head down this way and still use this pinch as the fulcrum. Now if I'm pulling this down and I'm starting to get a crunch on my groin, that means I didn't pinch my knees. So in order to avoid that, I lift just a little bit, pinch, and then bring it back down. Another thing I'll use is my hip socket, left or right, to lock his elbow. Another thing you could do is place your fist on your pubic bone and use your fist like this. If his elbow is real flexible, I could sit up and put it under my armpit and keep it tight. This is very dangerous because you'll hyperextend his arm real fast. So some people are real flexible in their elbows. So what I will do is use the hip socket, and as I take this with all my power, I will back bridge at the same time to try to break the elbow joint.